I wonder what picture my editor's going to use for this bit. Curious to know. Hello all my exciting Keiths, my name is Patrick and welcome to Fun with First Names, where each week we look into the meaning, origin and some extra fun facts behind one specific first name. And this week we are looking into the first name of Yuri. Though before we continue, I just want to remind you all, we're trying to hit that goal of 1,000 followers on Instagram. We're getting closer and closer, guys. We're on just over 800 at the moment, so just under 200 of you watching this video right now need to go follow me on Instagram and we'll hit that goal. It's really achievable. I know there are 200 of you watching this video who enjoy Name Explain enough to want to go follow me on there, see what kind of weird stuff I get up to in my personal life. I even share some behind the scenes shots on there. When I hit 1,000 followers, I'm going to share a super exciting announcement with you all. So go follow me on there and soon enough you'll see that announcement. And of course, I just want to give a huge thank to everyone who's supported me on Patreon in the most recent week. Patreon is the best way to help Name Explain. Just donate $1 a month and you get access to ad-free videos, loads of exclusive content, and you have a say in what names get explained. This week I want to say a huge thank you to Balleur, Gordian Lubeck, Steve Britton, Nancy Moon Smith, Dennis Hillman and Ivek. Thank all you guys so much. Huge apologies if I mispronounced your name and apologies if I missed you out, but you guys make Name Explain happen. But anyway, on with today's name of Yuri, and this is probably a very exotic sounding name, especially to English speakers like myself. I imagine the region of the world it will resonate with most people is Eastern Europe, specifically the nation of Russia. However, despite sounding so gosh darn Russian, it's actually just a Russian translation of a very popular English name, George. And you don't get names more English or British, should I say, than George. Think of all the King Georges or Prince Georges. There's going to be another King George sometime in the future, that's for sure. It's a very British name. Though Prince or King Yuri doesn't sound quite as British, does it? But any king called George or any prince called George could also technically be seen as being King or Prince Yuri too. Like I said, these names are one and the same, despite sounding so different. How on earth did this happen? There's such different sounding names. Well, this is because Yuri and George actually come from the same root name, the Greek Georgios, which comes from the Greek word of Georgios. And this Greek name / the Greek word it originally came from means a farmer or earth worker. It's safe to say farming / working the earth are pretty darn universal concepts. Pretty much every civilization on our planet farmed in some way or another. It's how civilization began. What made us not hunter-gatherers anymore and made us the humans we are today is farming. So it really makes sense as to why this name, meaning farmer, would spread so far and wide across languages and become names in other parts of the world, because farming is just that popular. So in English, the Greek name of Georgios became the very common English name of George. And in Russian, in their turn, the Greek Georgios became Yuri. As I said, these names are pretty different, George and Yuri, but there are some similarities between them if we start looking at them more, especially between that sort of G sound, the J sound it begins with, and the Y sound Yuri begins with. G and Y are often sort of interplaced throughout languages and history, especially J as well. J, once again, getting its face involved with this video like it did with Javier and Xavier last time. And if we look at what the Greek name of Georgios became in other languages, it might make us understand this a little bit better. Some of these other translations of Georgios in other languages really bridge the gap between George and Yuri, and makes a whole lot more sense when we see these other translations of the name. Take the Bulgarian Georgi, which really seems like a missing link between Yuri and George. It looks like it could fit right in the middle between those two names. Or even the Latvian Georgis, which once again really does seem like it could fit slap bang in the middle, as it's kind of a bridge between George and Yuri. It's just really cool. When we look at these other language versions of this name, it all starts to make a bit more sense when we start to see more of a link between George and Yuri. Yuri, however, is a name that appears in other languages and cultures and just coincidentally sounds like the Russian name of Yuri. In Hebrew, Yuri is a different spelling of Uri, another name we've talked about in the past, which means my light, my fire. Yuri is also a popular girl's name in Japanese, where it simply means lily. And yes, Yuri is a name for a manga / anime genre in Japan which involves deep female relationships, as Wikipedia puts it. And you know what? That's completely fine. I wonder what picture my editor's going to use for this bit. Curious to know. Over in the States, Yuri is the 2,163rd most popular boy's name, so definitely not the most popular name out there, that's for sure. And likewise here in the UK, it's even less popular as the 3,411th most popular boy's name. So yeah, Yuri isn't a big hitting name at the moment, unfortunately. Though I imagine it's way more popular in Eastern Europe. I couldn't find the actual scores for Russian names, but I'm sure it's pretty popular over there. Let me know if you're watching this in Russia and you're called Yuri. Famous Yuris include the likes of Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, the original cosmonaut, which is just awesome. One I didn't know about was Yuri Arensevich Kim, which is the official birth name of Kim Jong-il, the former leader of North Korea. Didn't know that as his original birth name. Really interested to look more into that. If you know any more about that, let me know. And I wanted to include a female Yuri too, and this is Yuri Masuda, a famous Japanese singer. And as for a famous wrestler, we have Yuri Maya, who's one of those proper Argentinian proper wrestling people, not fake wrestling, which I enjoy, but still a wrestler called Yuri. But that's just about everything you guys need to know about the name Yuri. But what are your thoughts on this name? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you know anyone with the name Yuri? Are you called Yuri yourself? Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, I just want to share some of the thoughts you guys had on last week's name of Xavier. Roy Cousins said, I think Xavier was a modern phenomenon caused by people not being able to pronounce it properly. I can see that happening. I really think we have X-Men to thank for this pronunciation of Xavier. People knew this team was called the X-Men. They knew their leader had a name beginning with X, Charles Xavier. And they just thought, well, it must be pronounced Xavier because they're the X-Men. I genuinely think that's how we got this mispronunciation, but I might be wrong, who knows. Xavier Flick said, my real name is Javier, but I call myself Xavier. My parents wanted to call me Xavier, but because Spain was under Franco's dictatorship, every child had to have a Castilian name. So there you go, I'm a Javier that goes by Xavier. Thank you so much, Xavier Flicks, for sharing this with me. This is really interesting to hear. I know that names have been affected by dictatorships in the past, and this is just a prime example I wanted to share with all you guys. And I might even make a whole video about this in the future, names affected by dictatorships. So thank you so much, Xavier, for sharing that with us. And Fiora Campher said, regarding your comment about Mexico, in Old Spanish they called it Mexico with a J, so you aren't wrong. For once, a YouTube comment telling me I'm not wrong. This is a rare moment. Most of the time it feels like people are like, no, you're wrong, this is how it is. So just to have a comment telling me you're not wrong, that felt good. That hit me right here, it did. Next week we'll be looking to a name starting with the letter Z, and what name that will be exactly will be chosen on a poll exclusively for my patrons to vote on. So if you enjoy the show, want to help support it, and have a say in what names get explained, then please do consider donating on Patreon. Just $1 a month really does help out in a massive way. It gets you access to ad-free videos, you get loads of exclusive content including a podcast and a weekly blog. There's just so much good stuff going on there. You get to help choose what names get explained, as I previously mentioned, all for just $1. There'll be a link down below for my Patreon. It helps out in a huge way if you support me there, and Name Explain wouldn't be what it is without you guys supporting me on there. But anyway, that's just about everything from myself. Goodbye and take care.